I am recording, and that is for the 109 as well as the 110, because y'all are in line with each other right now, in sync. So, and it's going to deal with equations. I'm going to pull mostly from the equations. All right? You're going to use the definition of a logarithm. You're going to use the change-based formula. You're going to use the exponential rule. There's all these rules that we've covered you're going to use in solving logarithmic equations, all right, or inequalities, whichever one. There's two types. There's the exponential equation. Y'all remember doing these, which you change, get the same what? Same base. If you don't have the same base, then you're going to have to refer to taking log of both sides, or the definition of a logarithm, or some other method, okay? If they're not the same base, if this was, 45 to the second power, you can't raise 5 to an exponent and get 45. So you would have to take the log of both sides or something, okay? Same type right here. 7 to the x is equal to 12. So you've got two types. Now there's the first one. 7x is equal to 12. Write that down. This is your first exponential equation that you cannot, what?
Fail.
No. You cannot use the same base. Is there any multiple of 12 that includes a 7? No. So you can't go, okay, I'll just change 12 to the 7 to the blank power. You can't do that. Now you might could change it to a decimal power, but that would take a whole lot of time and effort. All right, so you can't use the definition of a logarithm. Well, you could, because that would be a to the y is equal to x. So that would be x is equal to log base 7 of 12. And then use the change base formula. You could do that. That's one option. Another is take the log of both sides. I didn't want to do that. Take the log of both sides. Now, why would I want to take the log of both sides? Now, the natural log or the log, either one, I didn't want to do the whole thing. Turn it. Take the log of both sides. Dang it. I'll just do it both. All right? So you could actually do the definition of a logarithm. Now, should you try both when you're doing homework?
Yes.
Yes. Again, that's called raising the bar. So, those of you that suffer from LAD, you might not do that. So 7 to the x is equal to 12. And you could actually, I think we did one like this, did we not?
Yeah, we did.
I think we did. And we could, a to the y is equal to x yields y is equal to log base a of what? X. And you could actually do this. And what is y? Y is going to be x. And what's log base what? Log base 7 of 12. And then that's change base formula. X is equal to log of 12 over the log of 7. Or you could do natural log. It doesn't matter. Capiche? Did we do this one? We did. Okay, now that's one way to do it. So you could say one way to do it. Second way to do it is to take the log or the natural log of both sides. Log of 7 to the x is equal to log of 12. Now what?
X equals x log of 7.
Okay, what's that called?
The power rule.
Power rule. You got to use the power rule. Are you going to see this in the future? Yes. This problem right here is kind of like, crawling. You're going to see this just as much as you're going to see the shortcuts, just as much as you're going to see the completing the square. Those things that y'all keep avoiding. Some of y'all keep avoiding. They're going to be with you until differential equations. This is another one. Take that power, pull it out. you get x log 7 is equal to log 12, and then divide by log of 7. And again, you get the same thing that you got with the definition of a logarithm. Now, when do you know who used what? Well, that's what takes the practice. You know, if you do 10 or 15 problems, you're not going to know when to do when. If you do 30, 40, 50 problems, then you will know. That's the difference between, you know, the B students and the D students. Capiche? And you see they get, I'm not going to do the calculator because I think some of y'all on the calculator drill team, y'all know how to do it. You should get 1.28. And I'm not going to go through this. You can, you know, graph both and see where they what? Intersect. So you can do that. I'm not going to show you how to do that. Is that a test question? Possibly it could be. But I'm not going to ask you 7 or 8 graphing questions. I'm going to ask you 7 or 8 algebraically solve the equation questions. Same thing here, except you have to know how to graph the domain. And as I told you before, put it on the number line and graph it. That tells what the domain is. Yeah. And that's the other side. I'm not going to go through that. Okay, here we go. All right, write that one down. I think this is where we stopped the other day. And I'm glad I went over that first one again because that's a good crawl before you can walk. You still crawling here? But what do you think you're going to do?
Switch that X.
I wouldn't use the definition of a logarithm here. Why? You've got 2 what? 2 TWO. 2 what? Before we only had 1 of these. Now we got 2.
X.
X what?
Exponents.
Exponents. Thank you. You got 2 exponentials. What do you mean you got 2 exponentials? Well, look at the first one we just did. What did it say? There's only 1 exponential variable. This one has 2 exponential variables. So you may be able to use the definition of a logarithm, but you're going to have to use it maybe twice. You see what I'm saying? So forget method 1. Now we're going to take the log of both what? Sides. So do that. I always use log, but you don't have to. Now, if you did 6.3 homework, then this is not a problem. You're going to just follow your algebra because 10% of this is logarithmic rules. The other 90% is what? Just like your 90% in calculus is what? Algebra. It's on your arm. Huh? Oh, I thought you had like lotion or something like that. Looks like lotion. The reason I said I was standing here and you got dang old, looks like dang old Terminator or something. Dang old stuff coming out of you. Huh? Okay, you are the Terminator?
Yeah.
So what do we do with that 3x plus 1? Take it out front. Take it out front. 3x plus 1 times log of 2 is equal to 4 minus x times log of 3. Now, I want you to finish it. Well, let me rewrite it first. Log of 2, 3x plus 1 equals log of 3, 4 minus x. Why did I do that? Why did I make it easier by rewriting it? Because what have you been doing since pre-algebra when you have parentheses? Oh yeah, I'm sorry. This is where you stare at it and blank out and do nothing, even though you've been doing it for the last 3 or 4 years. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to mess up your confusion. What have you been doing for the last 3 years? Pre-algebra, algebra 1, algebra 2, what? Distribute. Oh, what? That's logarithm. Well, what is the log of a number? A number. So what's the difference in log of 2 times 3x plus 1 than the pre-algebra 2 times 3x plus 1? There's no difference. Unless you want to make it a big, gigantic, racist wall. Okay? Because that's what walls are, racist. Okay? Dang old Six Flags, dang old, what's that other place, Disney World, dang old racist. Now, you can change that log of 2 to a decimal if you want to and distribute. Or you can leave it as a log. I don't care. Somebody take the log of 2 for me. What do you get? Somebody take the log of 2 for me.
0.3.
Is it 0.3 even?
0.3010299.
Okay, what's the problem with changing it to a decimal? It's continuing. Now, sometimes you might get a 0.2, and that's very rare, but what if you got 10 decimal points? You going to write those down every time, distributive law, or are you just going to leave it log? I would leave it logarithm and then do it at the very end of the problem. Okay? So, what is it? Point what?
301.
Keep going.
301. 02999566391. That's all.
See, there's no pattern. So you can't what? You can't say it's repeating. So you're going to distribute that each time. 3x plus 1 is equal to, somebody give me the log of 3. Just point what?
0.4771.
Just go a little bit lower on your volume so I can't hear you at all.
1, 2, 5, 4, 7.
5,
4, 7.
Sound like y'all running out of damn gas. 4 minus x. All right, y'all want to have fun and distribute those 10-digit decimals? I don't.
Yeah.
So let's go back down here and do it the legitimate way. So 3x times log of 2 plus log of 2 is equal to 4 times log of 3 minus x times log of 3. Okay, since now, okay, here is the new stuff. Right here, I'm going to take a blue marker just to let y'all know, because I've been telling y'all this as well as the 109s, a red marker, and I'm going to highlight the new stuff. There's your new stuff. Maybe 5 to 10 what? % of your problem. You better get used to this. In Math 109, in Math 110, you're going to move to trig next. 110 is going to move to trig next. Trig is 10% trig and, no, 20% trig and 80% algebra. When you get to calculus, 10% calculus, 90% algebra. So if you suck in this class, you're going to suck in those 2 classes. All right? So that's why you can't go with, oh, it's got a log in it. I don't know what to do. I just sit and stare at it for 15 minutes. No. You did the log stuff right here. Now it's just algebra. So what do you do in pre-algebra when you got x's all over the place? What do? You get them on what?
One side.
One side. So I need to move that across the river. I get 3x log of 2 plus x log of 2, log of 3, sorry. And then I'm going to bring the minus log of 2 over. Somebody tell me what 4 log of 3 plus log of 2 will come out to be. A what? A number. So you've got a number on the right-hand side. How do you get x isolated out of 2 x's? You factor out a common term, Hubert. That's right, class. So I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to erase all this trash. And now I'm going to factor out an x out of this term right here. That gives me x times, what is that? 3 log of 2 plus log of 3 is equal to 4 log of 3 plus log of 2.
Should that minus on the log of 2 since you brought it over?
Yeah. Thank you. All right, now what? Divide by that block of stuff. I'm just going to put parentheses and a squiggle. So x is going to be equal to 4 log of 3 minus log of 2 over 3 log of 2 plus log of what? It disappeared. Where is it? Is it 4 log of 3? No.
It's 3. Log of 3.
Log of 3. Log of 3. And somebody crank that out for me. Now, please do it in a sensible fashion. Please don't try to do it. If you worship the calculator, just don't do it, okay? For somebody that knows how to type it in the calculator, you need to either type this one in first and store it, and then type this one in and store it, or put parentheses around this, then divide, and then put parentheses around this. If you don't know what you're doing, don't do it. The ones that worship the calculator think the calculator can actually think, and it can. And let's see what they did. And this, if there was a test question that I was to give you, this would be it. Because it's got everything in it. If you can't do this test question, you pretty much can't do logarithms.
I got 1.6.
1.62, you can round it. That's okay. 1.62.
16.
1.16.
Yes, sir.
Somebody else get that?
I got 1.61.
Okay, we got a 1.16 and a 1.61. That's transposition of numbers. So somebody break the tie.
1.3. Rock, paper, scissors.
Oh well, I'll just go ahead because it takes some of y'all an hour and a half, so which is a good thing. At least you're not twirling around on. What does that say? 1.165?
That's 1.16.
Yeah, you got it.
I got 1.6.
So whoever got 1.16, you're a winner. There you go. So make sure you can do this problem. I don't care if you're in Math 110 or Math 109. If you can do this type problem, you're good to go. Now there are some more. There's one that have logs on both sides, and we'll get to that in just a minute. So let's go ahead and do it there.
Swallowed so stupid.
Here we go. Yeah, I would probably quit before I'd even start this one.
Yeah, Yeah, I give up. I don't know.
There you go.
Well, they're all the same base.
Oh my gosh, shut up! Gosh, you're not supposed to do that. You're raising the bar. Gosh, don't think freely. What's the matter with you? Please quit coughing. Quit lay off the Marlboro Reds on the weekend. You'll be all right. I'll never forget the time I went to Commerce. And I was sitting on the bench outside one of the stores, just sitting there. And these two people came out. They were about 107 apiece. I don't know how old they were, but they were old. One of them was in a wheelchair with oxygen. The other one was pushing the wheelchair with oxygen, man and a woman. They had a coughing fit when they came outside the store. And guess what the woman in the wheelchair asked for?
Cigarette.
A cigarette. So they lit up a cigarette, both of them. Now, what's wrong with this picture? There's two things wrong with this picture. Say it one more time, Miss Hoots.
She has oxygen tank.
Both of them got oxygen tanks. Dang old jaws. Dang old blow up, okay? And the second thing is, they're both coughing up half a lung, but they asked for a cigarette.
What just happened out there?
Somebody needs a cigarette.
Maybe they were taking the cigarette.
So here we go.
Here out.
Somebody's going to be.
What is that actually? How do you say it?
So, what do we do? I would rewrite. Don't you know? When you have a minus symbol right there and same basis like you said, what do?
Right.
Divide. So we're going to take our handy dandy quotient rule and we're going to reverse it. And it's going to be log base 3 of x plus 6 divided by what?
X plus 2.
X plus 2. And that's equal to log base 3 of x. Now, that is, what are y'all talking about? Y'all sharing is
Talking
caring.
about lighting cigarettes at the gas station.
Yeah,
Next
that's
to gas
pretty
pump.
stupid too. That's live PD stuff, yeah. We watched our Friday and Saturday, me and my son watched Friday and Saturday, and he noticed that every time you get arrested, you have to have a cigarette in your mouth when you get arrested.
I like what's
All of
asking
them do.
before they get to the patrol car.
Yeah, they're fixing to go to jail, but they gotta have a cigarette.
They're about to get in
even
jail. The
more
rest of them like,
priceless.
you want to? Can I have a cigarette?
And they ask for drinks.
I guess if I'm going to jail forever, I'll smoke one.
All right, so somebody tell me, what do they see here? Anybody see anything?
My dad is.
The same basis. If you got the log, this is a neat trick, y'all. It's kind of like the exponents. If you take the log of exponents and they're the same basis, what can you do to the variables? Set them equal to each other. This is another one that you will see all the way to differential equations. Now, of course, you'd probably quit here because you don't know what to do because you've only been through 3 algebras to get to this algebra. So you probably just go ahead and stare at it for 15 minutes.
Yep.
We're going to
Exactly.
complete the square.
Now, what do you do when you try to get rid of a fraction?
You multiply by
Common what? Denominator. So I'm going to multiply both sides by x plus 2. Okay, now that I've given you a hint, go. Finish it. And yes, everybody in this room should be able to finish it because this is Algebra 1, Algebra 2 stuff. And yes, this is this question. You're probably talking about 2 or 3 of the one I did before this one, 2 or 3 of these.
Can't make a shank out of it. You could, you could make a jewel a pretty solid knife.
That's pretty solid. What's that again?
We were talking about how they give prisoners like paper e-cigarettes so they can't shank anybody with it.
You know, America has lost their damn mind. We give prisoners more rights than our homeless people and our homeless veterans. And we give illegal immigrants more rights than our homeless and our homeless veterans. But we wonder why we've got so many homeless veterans and so many homeless.
Because they help everyone besides them.
They have no assistance.
I have always been one for taking care of your house before you take care of somebody else's house. Dangle says that in Dangle Bible. Dangle trying to convert y'all. Yeah, I'm trying to convert y'all, said the Bible. Take care of your own wagon before you take care of somebody else's wagon.
Not my wagon.
So x plus 6 is equal to x squared plus what?
2x.
Oh, shoot. We might as well quit. We got to use what? Completing the square maybe, or
No.
reverse FOIL, but I'm not going to use reverse FOIL. I'm going to use completing the square. So that's going to give us x squared. What is 2x minus x? Plus x.
X.
Plus 6.
Minus.
Well, yeah, minus 6 is equal to what? 0. So x squared plus x plus blank is equal to 6 plus blank. Half of 1 is 1/2, 1/4. 1/4 x plus 1/2, quantity squared, is equal to 25/4. There's your vertex of negative 1/2, negative 25/4. And we've got square root, so that's going to be x plus 1/2 is equal to positive or negative 5/2. X is equal to positive or negative 5 minus 1 over 2. 5 minus 1 is 4, divided by 2 is 2. And negative 5 is negative 6, negative 3.
Couldn't you just do x plus 3 and x minus 2?
Yeah. But why didn't I do that?
Because he found the vertex.
Because that's not what we're
Because
learning.
what is it that y'all don't know how to do?
Complete the square.
So that's why I do complete the square.
That's
You
fair.
always go for your weakness or your strength. When you're trying to get better at something, you don't use your strength all the time. You use your weakness. You got to improve your weaknesses as much as your strengths. That's why I keep telling y'all to do what you don't like to do in the homework problems so you get good at your weaknesses and reinforce your strengths. That's called raising the bar. And what did they get?
Hey.
Look at there. It's a miracle. Now, graphing calculator, y'all, how do you do log of 3? Well, you can't do log of 3. Now, as you said Friday, you can do on the TI-84s and 85s, they're even making you more idiot-proof. Okay? That you can actually type in the base, can't you? And it will do it for you. And wonder why we got people that can't spell mom backwards. Okay? And that is how you do this. Okay? I'm not going to sit here and show you how to use your calculator. I want you to take your homework. Make sure you can do your homework. Sorry about that. Make sure you can graph a logarithm on your homework. If I give you 20 questions on a test, this chapter 6 test, you might have 1 or 2 graphing. So I wouldn't spend a lot of time on, I would make sure you could graph an exponential and make sure you can find the intersection if they give you y is equal to 2 to the x and y is equal to 5. Make sure you can graph those two and find the intersection. All right? Make sure you can find these. Y is equal to log of 5 and y is equal to 2 to the x or log base x to the 4 or whatever, and make sure you can find the intersection. There's your 2 graphing questions for this whole test. Just 2, maybe. So if you get to a graphing question And you can't do it in homework, and make sure you send it so we can go through it in class and do it. But they're showing you how to do it right here, so make sure log base, and must be a TI-84 plus, okay, or better. X plus 6, comma 3, there's the base. And then minus log base X plus 2, base 3. So that's how you type it in. So go ahead and write it down because, it's on video, but half of y'all won't look it up on video. So you'd have to actually go to YouTube and hit a couple of buttons, and that's a lot of work.
I'm subscribed to you.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. Oh, got 5 now subscribing. All right, look at here. What's the first thing you're going to do? Rewrite.
Give up on mine.
Give up. Yep, giving up is what 80% of students do on this. So, I would rewrite.
Oh, no. I know what to do.
Good job. You know these people are going to beat you up when you go outside. You know that, don't you? You shouldn't be trying. You should be giving up.
Is it like a thing only on Veterans Day? Show him that. I don't like that.
Show me
You wanna see
what?
some- On Veterans Day, there's like a statue that the sun lines up right and it shines like a.
Oh, yeah, I can't see. I can see the shadow, but I can't see. Oh, you talking about the veteran with respect?
I guess. It's
Yeah.
the Anthem Memorial Park thing.
Yeah, I saw it on Facebook.
Like that tank.
Oh, I do want to show y'all something to make sure y'all understand this, because today's generation don't know squat about stuff like this. So I just wanted to show y'all, and the parents don't teach y'all either. So I might as well go ahead and show you. I mean, they don't teach you idioms, so might as well show you this, because some of y'all don't know. What's the difference between Veterans Day and Memorial Day?
Memorial Day of people who are dead, veterans. who don't-
Thank you. So please do not go up to a veteran and say Happy Memorial Day. There is nothing happy about Memorial Day. Okay, remember that. Veterans Day are people that have served or is what? Serving.
Serving.
It's not for dead people. Okay? So that's the difference between the two. Where is mine? Posted it this morning. Dang old. Where is it?
The rose.
Oh yeah, there's the church. There's your spiritual. That's spiritual movement. That's enough for that. Yeah. And then there we go. A lot of people. There you go. Do not call a Marine a soldier. Please don't do that. So, and a lot of you have no idea what I'm talking about. Well, it's your parents' fault.
Do you think that the Coast Guard should be a branch?
It is a branch,
I
yeah.
know, but do you like it?
Yeah. Why wouldn't I?
I don't know.
I mean, they protect the borders of the United States. Oh yeah, we shouldn't do that. I forgot about that. They're racist.
Yeah.
Coast Guard is racist.
Just realize that. They're like Charlie Brown and Oval.
Yeah.
All of those things. Racist.
How many of you knew to call, let's say, somebody in the Air Force an airman? Did you know that?
Yes.
Okay, a lot of people don't know this. They'll call a soldier, they'll make everybody a soldier. No, that's not right. What's his oldest service?
Do what?
Which is the oldest?
I would say a soldier.
The Army is the oldest. They've got the Marine Corps beat by like 6 months. The Marine Corps and the Army were in a month of each other. Because the Marines is a department of the Navy. Because we protect their ships. And then of course, I think the Air Force came in 1947 because we didn't have airplanes until what, 1909? We didn't have any airplanes, so we didn't have an Air Force. So, and then I don't know when the Coast Guard came along. But don't be calling Marines a soldier. That pisses off a Marine more than anything.
Were you in the Marine Corps?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Did
Yep.
you go to that? Is it the Marine Corps that goes to like 1 week of like a hell week? Or is that do they all do that?
Marine Corps boot camp is 3 months.
It says
Okay, well, I was watching, I think it was a Navy SEAL thing.
Yeah, that's SEALs. A lot of Marines go into the SEALs because it's the Department of the Navy. So
That's what I thought.
Hubert's favorite way to be contacted is by carrier pigeon.
yeah, exactly.
So in the text.
Yeah. Did you get that? A lot of people don't even know what a carrier pigeon is. So, go figure.
At least I know what that is.
Huh? You know what a carrier pigeon is? Good job.
They deliver mail.
Yeah. There's my poem for today.
From tanks.
Roses are red, violets are blue. America's great. Thank a veteran. I'm very poetic. All right. So let's get back to what we were doing. I do that just to. You know why I do that? Because a lot of people have no idea what I confuse people a lot. It doesn't take much these days. It doesn't take much to confuse people. When I go down to the beach, you know, whether I go to Panama City, which is my favorite place to go, or when I go down to Charleston, I'll say, hot dog, I'm at the coast. I'm going to go to Long John Silver's. And oh my gosh, you would think I was just saying something antichrist. And all I'm doing is trying to piss people off, but they don't get it. So, all these people, you're going down to Panama City and you're going to Long John Silver's? I say, yeah, I'm going to eat fish. And they'll think, oh my God, this guy's stupid.
I like Panama City.
Oh God, that's my favorite place in the world.
You ate out like at a nice restaurant one time.
I would go to Panama City tomorrow. If you give me the money, I'd go tomorrow. I love Panama City.
Yeah, that was a donut hole.
Log of what? What do we do here? Log base 3, or log of 3x plus 2 times what? X minus 1 is equal to the log of...
Wait.
Why did I do that? Now I can make them equal to each other. Because log base 10, I took the log of both sides. Now that's something you can do. Or, let's see what they did, because there's 2 or 3 different ways you can do it. Yep, they did it. Because log base 1 of 1 is 10, so that's what they're doing. I just want to make sure I wasn't leading y'all astray. Okay. So, after you set the log, and this is log base 10, I can't write, hold on. Give me a second. There we go. All right, so that's going to give us 3x. This is log base 10. This is log base 10, and the log base 10 of 1 is 10. 10 to the second power. 10 to the first power, you can use the definition of a logarithm here. Or you can just say 10, so that would be 3x plus 2 times x minus 1 is equal to 10. And then you could go, well, that's going to be 3x squared minus 3x plus 2x minus 1 is equal to 10. 3x squared plus x minus 1 is equal to 10. 3x squared plus x plus blank is equal to 11. Did y'all see an error?
It's minus x.
Where?
Plus x.
Oh, minus x. Is that the only thing I did wrong?
Yes.
I think. Minus, no, that's 2. 2 times 1 is 2. So that's going to be plus 12. Check it again. Everybody check my work. So, factor out of 3. That's going to be x squared minus 1/3 x plus blank is equal to 12 plus 3 times blank. And then half of 1/3. 1/3 divided by 2 is what? 1/6. 1/6 squared is what? 136. 136. And that's going to be 3 times x minus 1/6. Quantity squared is equal to, at 3, we'll take out that 36 and make that a what? 18?
12.
Oh, I'm sorry, 12. 112, and that'd be 144. So that's going to be 145 over 12. Check my math. So there's your vertex if you need it. Divide by 3, divide by 3, which means you'll multiply by 1/3. X minus 1/6, quantity squared, is equal to 145 over 36.
Instead of the screen.
Discard. No, we gotta discard it.
The hell with it. There it is.
That was 40.
So anyway, I got to 145. All right, y'all saw where I was going with it. I'm trying to, paddle upstream sometimes.
That was partially my fault.
No, it wasn't your fault. It's my fault because I was hitting the button. It's got a button on the side like a mouse, and if you don't turn it right, sometimes when you're writing, your finger will hit that, and I think I hit it. It's damn Russians and Ukrainians and Joe Biden's son. That's what it is.
No, Biden is a great guy.
Oh yeah, they're all angels.
That son.
Yeah, Biden and his son are angels. He just made 50 to 80,000 a month. That's all. And then 1.5 billion from. But that's not being paid for. That's not no. All right, now what about this one? Well, you would just graph this because it's not asking you to solve it. You could solve it by bringing the 15 over, divide by 3. You could do that. And then you could graph it because you're still going to have a 2x. So they want you just to graph that one. Again, this is a graphing equation. See, that's how you would solve it. Bring the 15 over and solve. And inequalities, you're going to get the same answer. It's just going to be less than 16 and what? Greater than 16. So make sure you know how to do that type. Write that one down. Because again, I'm going to focus mainly on equalities. I doubt very seriously that you're going to get inequality on the test. And again, oops, sorry, let me go back. There you go. And B, it's going to be less than, X is less than 16. And then what? X is greater than or equal to 16. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the inequalities because y'all know how to solve inequalities. Just make sure you understand how what's going on right here. And we did one of those like the beginning of the class. Bring the 15 over, divide by 3, log of 2x. What'd they do? What'd they do here? Somebody tell me what they did between this spot and this spot. Starts with a D.
Definition of a logarithm.
Definition of a logarithm. Right here. DOL. Definition of a logarithm. Now, some of y'all went, oh, you can't be that way. You got to know. As I tell my son, he says, oh, text anxiety. No, you don't. You haven't done enough problems. When you do 5 or 10 problems, that gives you an idea of what to do. When you do 50 or 100 problems, it gives you confidence not to have test anxiety. Now, some of y'all with DAD don't like to hear that. Or LAD, sorry, DAD hasn't got anything to do with it. But LAD, y'all can't stand to hear that. Because you don't want to put forth the extra work. Okay? That's the difference between an A student and a C student. And that's the difference between your bridge standing up for 200 years and it falling down and killing an 18-wheeler driver.
Wait,
okay?
when your son gets here, will you teach him or no?
Yeah, I taught my daughter. Yeah, when she took 120 because she's a history major.
Can you go back for a second so I can take a picture of that?
Hell no. There you go.
Thank you.
You're supposed to be writing it down. Why didn't you write it down?
I know I started writing it down, but I didn't get all of it.
Okay. Well, you don't have to write down all this. Just write down A right here. Just write down that. Because A, that right there is a test question.
Yeah.
All this, I'm not going to ask you all this. To me, I can teach you that in calculus if we ever need it. I mean, we don't even do this in calculus. And that's what you do if you wanted to graph it. And there it is, and there's your x-intercept.
You can't keep bringing up work. It gives me a hard
I
time
know.
each time.
You need to take some medicine.
Got 9 minutes.
I know, of course, ain't got but 9 minutes. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Don't you love these? Oh, heck, you might as well forget this. Remember what I told you. Which logarithm is base E?
Ellen.
Ln. So you're going to take the natural log of both sides, or log base E of both sides, and what is that going to do? That's going to knock out, and you better get used to this. Those of you that want to be engineers, you do this in differential equations all the time. They give you all kinds of these right here. First thing you do is you take log base E of e to the -2 ln of x equals log base E of 1/16. Now, there's other ways you could do it, but what does that do here? What's your logarithm when the base and this are the same thing?
It brings down the exponent.
It brings this down. And what is the log base E of 1/16? It is a what? Starts with an N. A number. Why do I keep saying that? Because it's very important. Y'all, this is what y'all do, y'all as students. Y'all see this, and y'all stare at it. This is a what?
Number.
It's a number. It's just like a 5. But when y'all see it on a test, some of y'all freeze. This is nothing but a number. Somebody take the natural log of 1/16 and tell me what you get. 1/16 in parentheses, hit the natural log button. What do you get? Negative 2.78. Negative 2.78. That's all that is. Anytime you see the natural log of a number, anytime you see the log of a number, treat it as a what?
Number.
A number. Now, how do I solve for natural log of x? Well, natural log, remember, this is -2 log base E of x is equal to negative 2.78. I want to get x by itself. Well, the first thing I got to do, I got to divide by negative what? 2. And I get log base E of x is equal to, somebody do this,
Negative
0.39.
1.39.
That'd be 1 point.
1.39. Somebody tell me what we got.
What?
Starts with a D.
This is the thingy of
E,
the
F. Definition of a logarithm. Are you going to see this on the test? Hell to the yeah. Why? Because if you're in 110, you may be heading toward an engineering route. If you're heading toward an engineering route, diffEq is full of these raised to the 10th power. So you have to know to take the natural log of both sides when you see this and this together.
So x equals e to the 1.9.
Or something like that. There it is. See, they took the natural log of both sides. I don't see where they see it, but anyway. Natural log, okay, they used the power rule. You could use the power rule. We'll start with this one when we get back to class, whatever today, Wednesday. You can actually do it a different way, but it'll come out with the same answer. So we'll start with this one Wednesday, okay? All right, let me finish and hit stop.